Stop the cap.
Okay, so it wasn't me, but somebody said white women do fake better. Y'all see these beautiful white women back here? Stunning, baby. Gorgeous. You can say they all look alike. They're all blonde. You can say what you want to say, but they got that aesthetic down, hunty. Okay, gorgeous. Fake as fuck, though. Fake as fuck. I need you to keep that in mind. Just roll with me, okay? So you think they all just got this natural Nordic beauty with the blonde hair, huh? Mm-hmm. Think they ain't got no extensions? Mm-hmm. Lashes, nails, Botox, fillers, laser treatments, hell, facelifts. White women start early with the facelifts, huh? You think them boobs real right there? Mm-hmm. You think them toned arms? You think that's natural? You think that cinched waist right there? You think that's natural? She had no liposuction? Uh-huh. Okay, you think? But all y'all can talk about is how fake black women are. And I will give it to you. Black women do go overboard with their beauty treatments, right? For all the money we spend, we may as well throw it down the drain because we end up looking a mess. It's the mental approach that's off. Black women want to stand out at any cost. That's paramount. That's why everything got to be super dramatic. The nails super long, the lashes super long, the hair, the butt super big. The mental approach is off. Where white women want to look well taken care of, healthy and wealthy and soft and feminine. They got that aesthetic. And I guarantee they're winning in life because of it. So I didn't say it, but I'm repeating it here. For all the money black women spend, this what we need to be trying to look like right here, baby. They got that aesthetic down. Sorry, I said it.
I do need to put out that video about the what the hell was it? About the brother talking about masculine and what did he say? Rich men aren't masculine. That was the title of his video. Black guy was talking about it. He came off a little sassy himself. I'm gonna cover that. Let me sit down because otherwise I'll start pacing back and forth. I'm gonna talk about that probably next video. I have the clips I wanted to use. I just haven't put it together. But I made that post the other day, and I might do I don't know. Should I do a beauty of the week? Should I grab all? Because I'm getting number one. That post was in response to a chick who wanted to know what I think are attractive black women. So I was like, oh, I got whole folders of this shit. I could just keep going for the next 5 years of just posting, images of, women I think are attractive that I've saved. I got like 1,000. It's over 1,000. I think it's something like 1,300 images that I've saved, cropped. I'm like, oh, that's a bad bitch. File save. Oh, that's a bad bitch. Tag that bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing that since when I came online. So I got tons and tons of pictures, and then that's just one computer. That's just one folder. If I go and I bust out my hard drives, shit, I'll be long gone if I posted a chick a day, I'd be long gone. You know what I'm saying? By the time before I even get to the end. But oftentimes the whole, the divester beliefs and colorism and, black women's awkward situation with, beauty standards, makeup. There's a lot of drag queen shit going on in the black community. There's a lot of, self-hatred, the lace fronts. Like I said, you're not going to get away from that. You're just not. If you disqualify black women that wear weave or wear lace fronts, you wouldn't have anything to pick from. It is what it is. I've argued till I'm blue in the face the problem with that, the elevation of other races of women. I pointed that out. I get tired of arguing about that. So, again, when's the last time I did a beauty topic? That was a big topic back in I'd say from the 2010s to 2015. It was a big topic because everything was about colorism and all the isms and whatnot. But now, even the shit with Slim Kim, even the shit with, who's the other chick? Monique, when she was telling the women to, stop coming up to the schools disheveled and wearing bonnets. That principal down there, I don't know whether it was Louisiana or Texas, one of them states. where they were talking about, the women they were picking up their kids from school with like inappropriate attire. And these were black, that was a black female principal that was addressing that shit. It ain't had nothing to do with what brothers got to say. So if you got women that are speaking out against it, this whole, how black women present themselves, um, if you have women speaking on it, the men are not out of their mind. I'm not saying colorism doesn't exist and whatnot, but a lot of women that got other issues going on hide behind the colorism. And again, it's just difficult to prove because you really gotta back somebody into a corner. I was watching a video clip of some dude the other day, like women just blatantly lie. Like they just blatantly lie, like dumb lies. Like there was a video clip of a chick and the guy was asking her what university she went to. She said she went to UCLA. And then he was like, okay, let's double check this. I'm gonna put your email in and I'm gonna email you. And he immediately saw it because she put her university email as .com. Anybody who went to a 4-year institution or any institution for that matter, when they give you a school email, we all know that the email address is what? edu. .edu. So I mean, you just blatantly caught in a lie. It's like, why would you lie about something like that? You know what I mean? On this talk show. And so it's like, okay, if you lying about that, what else can we not believe you about? And this is a problem with having these type of discussions when you start lying about dumb shit. Just dumb shit. But anyway, I wanted to make this video because one of the guys left a comment and I realized this problem. So anyway, posted the picture of the chick. She's Momo. She's like a singer. I don't know. I follow her on Instagram. I was like, oh, this is a nice little baddie right here. So I followed. Nice looking. I don't really get into, her music. I just scroll through. Okay, she looks like she plays the guitar and whatnot. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, now this meets, black suburban, Prince of Bel-Air standards type of shit, right? This is what a lot of, black men who grew up in the burbs ideally, are looking at, right? And I'm not saying I have the golden eye. Obviously there's brothers that, may disagree or but the thing is, when I try to assess is, you got to have a baseline, fellas. You got to have a baseline of reasonably attractive. Because right now the reputation is, and black women, make it that way and go and grab it. The rap artists, talking about red bones and shit like that. That doesn't help our case. Okay? So you got to establish and assess, just establish, okay, this category, because we're talking about a category of black women. This category is attractive. Women who can get close to this right here as the model so that the women have a sense of what the hell it is we like. They can go from there. Because right now, black women they're listening to drag queens. They think that every bitch is supposed to look like Sexy Red. I've seen brothers online talking about like every other black woman looks the same. They all look like they go to the same hairstylist. They all look like they get the same lashes. They all got the same eyebrows. I mean, they all look the same. Like they all are trying to be the same bitch. You know what I mean? Like literally they're all trying to be the same chick. You know what I mean? And this, the image that you see on the screen, because I'm going to use that image as the background. You know what I mean? Less is more. Natural, face, got a little bit of makeup on, enough to, highlight, the beauty, right? The hair, is not like, it's not a wig. It's not like, some overly processed, fried dye laid to the side shit. You know what I'm saying? Not overweight, right? But on, the other side, like not super hardcore, athletic. I do tend to lean more into the athletic build. Give me any of the chicks that play volleyball. Give any of the chicks that run track and field. I'll take any one of those. Okay. But I'm saying, her whole aesthetic is, I mean, this is normal, regular, attractive, knows how to, accentuate, okay, non-racially ambiguous, black woman. Okay, this should be, this vicinity should be what black women aspire to. Okay, not the shit with the baby edges and looking like, fucking Suki Hana and Sexy Red, what I mean, like, and Cash Doll, and like, no, and got the veneers, got the Steve Harvey teeth, like, where is this young, natural, feminine, girl next door type of beauty when it comes to sisters? You do not see this all the time. This shit is rare. A lot of sisters out here, their shit is just completely overdone. And a lot of it has to do with, it's not even the fault of black men. It has to do with a lot of the mothers. Because again, a lot of the children, the young women today, I shouldn't say children, but the young women today who are at their peak, who are in their early 20s, their mothers are Gen Xers. And I've had extensive conversations with Captain Solo about this. A lot of the Gen Xers got on that, what is that? Oaktown, what were the damn numbers? Somebody's gonna say it in the comment section. You got that, you got, salt and pepper, the whole just hat to the back, overalls, like the 90s, the women were really trying to be like dudes. And you see it with like TLC with the overalls and shit. They were just trying to be like the dudes, and a lot of black women in that era, they lost their femininity that had nothing to do with the community was just, just so broken. No, I'm saying, I'm not going to say that wasn't a factor at all, but what I'm saying is, a lot of these women, they were trying to equalize themselves to masculine energy because they thought it was empowering. And in the process, many of them lost their femininity. And many of these women who became mothers ended up, they don't teach their daughters this shit. I mean, in some behind the scenes conversations that I can't disclose, with some of the women that are, on the opposition, but we've had behind the scenes conversations. They have acknowledged and admitted that their mothers did not teach them beauty care, skin care, makeup, how to dress. Like they've had to. That's why you see all these videos online of makeup, tutorials and stuff like that. I mean, if you really look at it, like that is a failure. Like that's a failure. If there's a market for because that's shit that your parents are supposed to teach you. You know what I mean? Like as men, like I cringe every time I see a young man who doesn't know how to put on a tie. Like there was a video of a white guy, he was speeding to get to a job interview, didn't know how to tie a tie. The officer who pulled him over showed him how to tie a tie so that he could get the job. Like I'm saying, I was like, damn, man, like, damn, like you don't have a man to teach you how to tie a tie, teach you how to tie a full Windsor tie. Now, granted, if you want to get elaborate, there's some elaborate knots. You know what I mean? Like that you can go on YouTube. If you want to get real creative with the ties, oh yeah, YouTube is the place to be. You had that shit, looking like some origami. Yes, go to YouTube. But for a basic tie, half Windsor, full Windsor, come on. You're not teaching your sons that, or you're not present. That's a failure on the part of men. Okay? For young men not to know how to tie a tie, that's a problem. But same thing with the women. There's no reason why your transitioning, I don't know, 16, to 20-year-old daughter doesn't know how to do her makeup. Okay, that's a failure on your part. I'm a dude. We don't know how to do that shit. I can teach that shit if I wanted to. I don't know nothing about makeup. I don't know nothing about blending, contours, none of that shit. I'm fascinated when I watch women I'm like, damn, it's all of that. You know what I mean? They just put these blobs on their face. I don't particularly care for a whole bunch of foundation and everything. I think women should, let their pores breathe and, just simply use the right lotion and creams, to moisturize their skin, and then, put the lip gloss, mascara, eyeliner. I'm more of an eye makeup guy. I don't care for all that all that cake batter that y'all be putting on y'all faces. I don't care for that. And that is a turn off for me. That's just me personally. I don't care if I give you a hug and then when you back up and there's half your face on my shirt, that's a problem. That I don't like that shit. Okay. But I wanted to say this. I wanted to point out it was two things, but I'll start with the first because I think I'm forgetting the second one. Okay, one of the guys wrote a comment talking about girls like this are usually divestors. No, it is wrong for you to think that. And I'm telling you this as a black man that grew up in the white suburbs. Okay, no. And this is what a lot of brothers have a problem with. A lot of black people have a problem with this because they do not want to accept the fact that there's levels in the black community and there's class. Okay, a lot of y'all, anytime, like I guess it's the thing now, you come across a sister that has, high standards and you don't know where they come from. I'm not going to lie. I do side eye some of the sisters that come from the hood. And, I've had back and forth with Captain Solo about this, about, people trying to get out of a situation and you got to respect that, versus the women that just kind of like, I feel I deserve, and they go and they just, they're just like, I want the resources, but I don't really desire or respect the men that come from, that class. You know what I mean? Like I want to have access to an educated lame's resources, but I'm not really attracted to educated lames. I look at those sisters with a side eye. When it comes to sisters that grew up in the burbs and they have educated, professional, I'm talking PG County, Maryland parents and Baldwin Hills parents and DeSoto, Texas parents and, Atlanta. I don't know where all the bougie people live in Atlanta. OK, and the parents are well to do. OK, the way that this woman looks on that you see as the background. OK, 9 times out of 10, they're going to come from those type of backgrounds. 9 times out of 10. Not always. There's some inner city chicks that'll surprise you. But 9 times out of 10, they daddy in their life, they mama in their life. There's resources there. There's stability. Okay, they got all the nice clothes. They know how to do the whole be sexy, but without like overexposure. Okay, they're typically more confident. They have higher self-esteem. Okay, because their dad was active in their life and told them they're beautiful and everything, right? So they go out into the world and they see their level, they see above their level, and they see beneath their level. Okay, and they're not trying to go beneath their level, and they know what type of guys, that generally, that they have this vision of marrying. That's not to say that none of these women are attracted to guys in the streets and D-boys and everything else, because I told you, ELs a lot of times fail in the masculinity department, which will, again, be the next video. They fail. They fail at working out. They fail at their level of aggression. They fail at exercising the Second Amendment. They fail at responding to, dangers and incidences because they're too busy trying to be a goody two-shoes. All that shit, base level instincts for women, that shit turns them off. So there is a downside to that. But there are, plenty of women that come from this background. I mean, if there's going to be any group of women that find, these sort of metrosexual, educated lane black men or clean cut black men or I went to Morehouse black men attractive, it's going to be black women who have fathers who are ELs, essentially. Not super corny in the sense like he's got to be a Steve Urkel. He's just not in the streets. He's not in the streets. He's got a damn good corporate job. You know what I mean? He can code switch, all that shit. Okay. Those girls, okay, they're the type of girls that if she even brings you home, let's say you come from the hood and she brings you home and the daddy, sizes you up and then, you leave or whatever, he ain't going to say nothing to your face. He ain't going to say nothing right then and there. 9 times out of 10, he's going to wait till you leave, and then he's going to have a conversation with his daughter, and it's going to be like, if he didn't already drill you right in front of you, what do you do? What are you doing? Are you going to school? Da 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 da. He's trying to figure you out. Okay, and if you come off like you ain't about shit, or you're not, you don't have the trajectory, like you're heading anywhere. He's going to tell his daughter, I don't think he's right for you. And if he has a decent relationship with his daughter, she's going to take that into strong consideration. She may not walk away immediately, but she's going to look at it for what it is, and she's going to, dismiss. See, this is the part of having an intact community that a lot of black people don't like. And this goes for male and female. You get a lot of black women, they like, oh, I feel I deserve, and these well-to-do black men, they don't want a black woman from the inner city, and they don't want a black woman, period. They start talking like that. Let these women get around the black mothers that are like Claire Huxtable. Okay? You want to talk about them feeling uncomfortable. See, they don't talk about this shit. They don't talk about what happens when you're Keisha and you are into, a guy named Derek, okay? And Derek, he goes to Morehouse and whatnot, and then you go to the house. The dad might not pick it up, but you ain't gonna get past Miss Huxtable, okay? Miss Huxtable is gonna size you up, okay? So, what are you doing? Okay, and it's very strange because there is this aspect where black people really do, the well-to-do black people, they want everybody to be educated. They don't really get into the whole, he should be providing for a stay-at-home black wife. I don't know why the community is not like that, but it does seem that, like, across the board, all the educated parents, and a lot of times you'll have a black mom, she'll be educated and she ain't using her degree. She's educated, she has a degree, but she's married to a man. I thought I heard somebody. I had to get the mail. Anyway, what was I saying? Um, yeah. Uh, I was talking about the parents and wanting them, both people to be educated. It's not really encouraged in the black community, from what I've seen and what I've witnessed. Um, like, you'll have these moms that they have a degree and they don't use it. They don't use it. It's the husband. The husband. It's kind of like he goes and he's just kicking ass. And she doesn't have to work. She has a degree, and the degree is always thrown up like, I'm educated, I have a degree, and I do think it's important for the mothers to be educated, but they are not. There doesn't seem to be any real encouragement of this sort of. It's okay for the girl to not be educated. And I do think we need to have some serious conversations about that. Should they or should they not be? Because as we can see, when we talk about traditionalism, patriarchy, and all that stuff, the black community seems to be, or there seems to be this fight in the gender war, that you have all these women now that they want to be stay-at-home moms and they want to be engaged in traditionalism. And some of it, I think, is bullshit because, as we know, the economy sucks. And we see when the economy is good, all the women were, bragging and talking about how they're kicking ass and they doing better than the men and all this other shit. Now that the economy is sucks, you got people from freaking, what was it, Stanford? You had that Stanford professor who came out and basically said that he's got students with 4.0s that haven't got any job offers, and they have, they majored in computer science. And obviously computer science, that changed. I feel bad because I was like, write code, not rhymes. And then you got AI, that came out. So that was one, I'd argue, failed Nicodemus prediction. But I think the push is just going to be, because you're always going to need people who know how computers work and whatnot. I just think the push is going to be towards not just a generalized computer science, but more into AI. And I think you would still need to have a computer science degree if you were going to focus on AI. I don't think you just dive right into AI, but I could be wrong about that. Damn, what is my wrong with my voice? But yeah, it's classism. Classism exists in the black community. Just because you get a sister that grew up like Hillary Banks and she comes across, a guy that doesn't come from that type of background. And again, I've experienced, myself, but yeah, it doesn't come from that type of background. If she rejects you, that doesn't mean that she rejected you because she's once a white man. It means she rejected you because she looked at your situation, your background, and your class, and realized that it wasn't a good fit. I mean, even within my own family, my mother came from a two-parent home. My father came from a single-mothered home. And to my knowledge, my mother's parents were apprehensive about her getting with my father for that particular reason, because he came from a single parent home. Father wasn't, he knew who his father was. It was type of like his father would show up and, the kids would be like, yo, your dad's standing at the street corner. You know what I mean? And he would run down to the street corner and then interact with his father, but like he wouldn't come in the house. I don't know what the issue was between my grandmother. I don't even ask. Um, you know, my dad said one time, he was like, your grandmother, wasn't, wasn't always a saint, but I'm just going to leave it at that. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to know. I don't need to have negative ideas in my head about grandma, because, I have a fairly positive, image of my grandmother in my head, and I like to keep it that way. But in any event, I'm saying, that was a concern. And I mean, I remember I was fooling with a chick whose his father had, I think he had a net worth of like $8 million. And, her and I were dating. We were, in school together. And, she was dealing with some dude who, he was a hood dude. And when she came across me, I mean, the guy, he was, not only was he a hood dude, he was a hood dude. He had a kid with another chick. Like, she should not have been fucking with him. But I remember one day she fucked up and said to me, she was like, I was like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with him. I'm like, you talking about your ex and everything. I wasn't tripping. Like, they had their problems or whatever. He was out the picture when I came in the picture. You know what I mean? But he kept coming up. You know what I mean? Because I guess he was trying to get back with her or whatever. But anyway, she was like, I was like, so why'd you break up with him? And she was like, well, he didn't come from what I came from. And I was sitting there and I was like, damn. I was like, my parents are only working professionals, bitch. I don't come from what you come from. You know what I mean? Like, your dad is a fucking multi-millionaire. I don't come from what you come from. I'm, in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking like, be careful with that shit, to her. But I didn't say that out loud. But the thing is, like I said, there's levels to the shit, right? People want to say I came from, the upper middle class, and I'm like, she came from above that. You know what I mean? So there were levels of there were levels above where I started and grew up at that I can't fuck with. So you got to understand, it's not because a lot of people just go into like the rich or poor, and that's all that there is. No, there's different levels on the way up. You know what I mean? And I mean, he was killing it. He was killing it. I mean, I think he got his degree in London, and I mean, he was killing it, you know, and, I can tell you from experience, you know, that's another thing, and there were girls that I had broke up with, because, at the time, yeah, we were in school together. We were fucking, we were enjoying each other's company, enjoying the lack of being judged, by each other. Cause, you get around other black folks, they get bent out of shape because your parents bought you your first car, or they put you in an apartment because they had the resources to do so. Things like that. Things that when you get around white people, that shit is normal when you're dealing with the, white middle class to white upper class. But as a black person, you get around other black people, and you gotta be on high alert, whether it's somebody trying to take something from you, or whether it's somebody that's jealous or some shit like that. You gotta be on high alert. Okay, so the thing was, even with me, I remember I got invited to go and meet a chick and go to her family, like some sort of family event, and I was going to meet her father. And the thing is I had already decided in my head that she had a bunch of like emotional problems and shit, and I was just getting irritated and sick and tired of it. You know what I mean? Just like things like outbursts, like random crying. Like, what are you crying for? Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And just, you don't even know what she's crying for. You crying after you have sex, crying, just out of nowhere. Like, I was like, what? I didn't even know how to deal with that. You know what I mean? But in any event, she, obviously her father knew about me, talked to him a couple times. But the whole, like, when I had already decided I was going to break up with her, the whole idea, I'm over there in this man's big ass house, eating his food. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you one of the things that really fucked me up, because she one day she called herself he and ha about the fact that her father found my boxers in her dresser drawer, because he came to the city to visit and everything else like that. And I guess I obviously stayed over. We did the nasty and everything, and you know my clothes were there, and she was like, "Oh, don't worry, just leave them here. I'll wash them, and then you can come and then pick them up next time you come over." I was like, "Okay, cool." I didn't notice she took the shit and put it in her own dresser. So the father comes over there. You know what I mean? He's got his little space for his own shit because, again, he's paying for the shit. And I guess he went through her shit and saw my boxers. I'm pretty sure they were in the dresser. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, she would have been better off not even telling me the shit. So now I'm sitting there, and so I'm thinking in my head, every time I interact with this dude, all he can think of is why my boxers were in his daughter's drawer or dresser or whatever. I'm like, talk about making it awkward for me. You know what I'm saying? So, real talk, like, you know, with the idea that I didn't have any long-term intentions with his daughter, I was like, nah, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing this. I'm like, we gotta break up, all type of shit, and so, I'm saying you're dealing with real pressures. Okay, when you dealing with when a man is there, when a father is there, you know what I'm saying? You got to be about the business of that relationship. It ain't gonna be no just, oh, I'm just waxing and waning. Oh, I'm just fucking around. Oh, no, not when the father's there. Not when the father's there. That motherfucker is gonna drill you about what your intentions are, what you're doing. He's gonna be looking at like your behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like the discussions you want to have. You know what I mean? Like, you think you're going to sit there and talk about the game? Yeah, sure. If he wants to talk about the game and, let the playoffs or some shit, yeah, bullshit with him. Talk about what he's interested in. You know what I mean? But trust and believe they want to hear about your interest in the NASDAQ. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to hear shit like that. And again, it depends on how high up you go when it comes to the fathers that you're dealing with. And the most intimidating factor is the fact, and this is what a lot of inner city brothers don't want to hear. Okay. You, at some point, you are going to be expected to provide the lifestyle that she's accustomed to. And if you can't do that, you might as well keep it moving. Okay. The other thing that's an issue when you're dealing with women that come from these, super intact homes. And, I think this is a problem. And we saw this with Shaquille O'Neal. You know what I mean? Like, when you have a father that's that successful that you're not going to be able to compete with. You know what I'm saying? If you're really on your shit, you want to go out there, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a judge, you could compete with a father making $150,000 to $200,000. That's somewhat realistic if you're really on your game about whether it's having a business or being a working professional. It's doable. However, when you get into multi-millionaire level, the biggest one of the biggest issues that you're going to run into is, again, like a father like Shaquille O'Neal, where he interferes with any decision that you make. Like, in other words, you don't get to have your own domain, your own kingdom. So the daughter disagrees with a decision that you want to make, and then the father is supplying her with resources. So she always has resources to override you. That can create a very ugly and nasty dynamic in the relationship. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, we're not going to go because I got to allocate resources over here. And so therefore that trip that we were going to go on can't really do that right now. That type of situation. And there'll be, you'll deal with a father that can literally just override you. His resources are always in your relationship. You know what I mean? And then you could end up being like, You know, the you know, it's like you're in a situation where you're being designated as dusty when you're not dusty. You're just dusty relative to the level of the father who's got 40 years of experience on you. It's not really fair, but that's kind of the way it plays out when you're dealing with these like really well-to-do families, you know, that have daughters that look like what you're seeing on the screen. Okay, these are things that you got to compare. Now, the black community's got a real strange dynamic going on because, you know, again, the major issue is that black men in the EL category don't control the economic opportunities. And so there's other ways that people are making money now via social media, rapping, entertainment, whatever, to where now you got guys like DDG and you got a man that's a doctor who's making $300,000 a year, and here comes DDG, you know, with his okay, what do you do? Oh, I fuck around on YouTube and just that's what I do. You know, I'm like a mini, what's his Kai CNET or whatever, whatever his how do you say his name? Anyway, you know, like that's what I do. I do social media. You know what I'm saying? And this is like the first time, like before it was, it was movie stars, rappers, athletes, entertainers, things like that. Now you got, people making money all different type of ways. You know what I mean? Even like what we talk about with, I mean, this whole thing with this white girl, this 20-year-old white girl making, $43 million a year, which is more than some of the guys are making in the NBA. I think all of the NBA, right? Because of OnlyFans, right? By just going up there and doing the little dance and whatnot. And, that, I mean, that's what men have to compete with today. Where everything used to be local, now it's global. That changes the calculus, of relationships. I think that, everybody's just going to try to be a celebrity, at some point, or, turn their self individually into a brand. So the what I'm talking about, a lot of it has to do with the old model. The old model of my hard work and my bootstraps, and you went to your work and you got paid at your job, and depending on your expertise and the knowledge that you had, that's what you got paid, and then you would go and, you know, you would what do you want to call it? And provide for your family with that, and essentially only that, unless you went off and, had a business or some shit like that. But now, oh no, you got TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and, whatever other social media, Twitch. You got bitches literally making money on Twitch wearing cosplay outfits with bunny ears, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. You know what I mean? Freaking playing Fortnite. Like that's what you're competing with now. I'm saying male and female. So the whole, I don't even know how that dynamic works. You know what I mean? I go and I meet a man, and his net worth is $8 million, and my net worth is $10 million, and he asked me whether I went to school or went to college, and I say no, I didn't go to school, I didn't go to college. Well, what do you do for a living? I play Call of Duty and I stream on Twitch, and Pizza Hut gives me $65,000 for 3 hours of work by in that 3 hours saying, like freaking T-Pain said, saying, and I know it's T-Pain, so I'm just making a comparison, saying, hey guys, Pizza Hut has, discount pizzas on Friday, and they pay me to do that because I have so many followers on Twitch playing Call of Duty because I'm a really good Call of Duty player. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, video games are a waste of time. You know what I mean? And then you got people who made whole YouTube channels like Level Cap off of playing video games. You see what I'm saying? So the calculus is completely changed on that front. What was the other thing I was going to point out? Oh, where am I at? 37 minutes. Let me see if I can wrap it up. A brother wrote a comment about, and I made a joke about it with these women with the last airbender makeup and the nasal septum ring. Yeah, as it pertains to women, black women with the natural hair, I don't know why natural hair has to be a political statement. I don't know why it has to be associated with militancy or, being Gaia, mother of the earth or something like that. Um, from what I've seen, a lot of these women that you would see at, like, let's say, like in Philadelphia, they have a festival called Adunde. It's the Adunde Festival, which is a Afrocentric festival that they do like once a year. And um, what was I about to say about Adunde? Like, you'll see black women there, and they be all earthy and, like, there's some real sexy Afrocentric chicks out here. Like, take you back to like the early 2000s with like Neo Soul, Music Soul Child, Bilal, Jill Scott, freaking, you could throw D'Angelo in there, right? Like the type of women that you would see at those type of events. Okay. And they'd be like real earthy, natural. I mean, real, just pretty, just, you know, makeup is slightly unique. I mean? Some of the sisters that would wear like, purple makeup. What I mean? You see like the you ever see like a real dark skinned Jamaican chick who's so black that her gums are black? You ever see sisters like that? Like the sisters with the black gums. What I mean? I used to think that was caused by smoking weed, but no, it's just they have hyperpigmented melanated gums. And they'll wear like purple makeup. What I mean? Some people it's not that thing. Black gums are not that thing. You with black people you either got pink gums or you got black gums. What I mean? But you know, um, there would be like sisters like that, and they just had like this real unique, like it'd be like Afrocentric anime look. You know what I'm saying? And they would just look good. They had big hoop earrings and shit like that. Back in the day, man, like that just meant that the sister was just like a free spirit. You know what I mean? But like in a healthy, like spiritual way. Now it means like I'm a baby mom and I hate men and I'm a misandrist and smash the patriarchy and I'm a womanist first, or I'm a black woman first, or I'm pro black woman, I'm not pro black community. Like BGS did a clip and he had a woman up there, she was talking about I'm pro black woman, I'm not pro black community, talking all that shit, and they got the septum ring. Like, bro, like, we can't tell the difference, y'all. I'm gonna be real, ladies. Okay, we can't tell the difference. You know what I mean? Like, before, being that just meant you wore your hemp dresses and you was earthy. You was earthy, but you were pure. You didn't hate men. You know what I'm saying? You were a free spirit, right? And again, technically, these would be the women that wouldn't fit into your polished corporate America. You might be able to get them to slightly, but I know some brothers that they like sisters like that. What I mean? They're like, hey, what I do at work is what I do at work. But when I come home, I don't mind coming home to some earthy sister, some vegan sister that does yoga and shit. Like, they don't mind that shit. But you got some real, like, I think what happened is like a lot of the women that already, again, that 42% of all black women that are mothers under the age of 20. They go out there and get, they're bitter because they're baby moms, and then they get into the I don't want a man. They get into lesbianism. They get into all this other shit on their spiritual journey. Like, I was watching a video about, it was Chescale responding to some video about um, pro-black people marrying white people. And, we all know that she was married to a white dude. I don't know why she let MTV do to her what they did to her. I 100% blame MTV because Chescale's content was not racial. Her content was not racial. Her content was like Lily Singh. And it's like what they did with Lily Singh. Like let Lily Singh stay on YouTube and do YouTube shit. She's funny on YouTube, but the stand-up comedy, trash. Or like the live, like, talk show bullshit that she was doing, trash. And Chescale, they a lot they like I don't say tricked her, but they got Chescale to be like this spokesperson and advocate for like the woke racial pro-black left, I guess. I don't know, but it was like that's not what Chescale shit was about. You know what I mean? And then I don't know why she cut off her locks. It's always women always do this bullshit. They be having beautiful hair, and then they break up with a motherfucker, and the first thing they want to do is like change their hair. They chop it all off. Okay, I mean, black women struggle with hair all the time. They struggle with length. You got the fucking length, and then you chop it off like you're one of these Indian women in a Buddhist temple, and you're or a Hindu temple, and you're shedding your old self. Like, y'all be going through the dumbest spiritual shit ever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then you go out here, now she's queer. You know what I'm saying? And let me just say this for the record, and I've said this multiple times. Cheska, give me Cheskalay's face all day. Okay? I still find Chescalay facially attractive. Okay? I have no issues with you know, Chescalay, facially. Okay? Like I have always felt that Chescalay is and it pains me to hear her talk about, she went to the predominantly white school and she didn't feel that she was pretty. And then, she was dating black dudes who felt like she talked like she white. I'm like, see, again, you should have been fucking with a nigga like me. You should have been fucking with other men. You got to stay in the class shit. You really should. I'm telling you, if when you start, yes, there aren't a lot of black people that come from, the middle class or whatever. And I don't know what Cheskalay's background is with her middle class. Remember when she did her video talking about her mother had a problem with her going natural, and it was like a whole struggle. That was like the first video I saw of Cheskalay. Her natural hair journey. And she had the little short dreads, and then it got all the way down her back, over the years. You know what I mean? But like now, and she's starting to go gray now. Like you can see like the graying, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, you went out, now she's 41, divorced, no kids. And I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like just whatever. But I'm saying, like, it just looks like, like from that video, she's trying to do the smile thing. I get very much Tia Mowry vibes when I watch Francesca Ramsey, Chescalay, when I watch her video, I get very, very Tia Mowry vibes, like this whole post-divorce, like just misery, type of like, they don't know where they are in space. They're trying to find themselves. They're doing all this soul searching and shit like that. And I'm just like, and I could say, oh, it's not that deep, but like it kind of is that deep because most men are not looking for women in their 40s. You know what I mean? Like that they're not looking for that. So, trying to find love and be in a relationship in your 40s as a woman, you know what I mean? At least Chescalay doesn't have any kids, but then you got the biological reality of geriatric pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, fuck, man. So now you got to figure out what the fuck you're going to do for the next, however many years of your life as a woman, where it's like you don't get to experience motherhood, and then society treats you and looks at you like you're valueless because, you're a woman. Going back to the Margot Jefferson, you're a woman and you're seen as non-productive as a man, and you're not a mother, so you're not even fulfilling that part of your existence. Right. This is one of the reasons why women, again, I got back and forth with Captain Solo about that, and he called me back and was like, yeah, he's like, yeah, that's true. He's like, it is. He's like, you're 100% right. Men think about the math when we think about having kids. We think about what the kids are going to need, how we're going to provide for them for the next, 18 years or more. You know what I mean? We're thinking about all that shit. Like I'm like a baby is born. I'm thinking, damn, how am I going to afford to purchase a car and afford to buy them a car? And then you start talking about multiple kids. Now you're talking about multiple cars. You see what I'm saying? Right? Because like I grew up and my parents paid for my first car, so I'm thinking I gotta do the same thing. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money, right? Where women, it's like, no, it's a rite of passage. I'm gonna be a mother again. These women do not care about when and how they have babies. A black man's position is irrelevant to when a black woman decides that she wants to have a baby. It's just they just think, oh, you just gonna figure it out. They don't sit there and look at the fact that it's a lot harder for a man to get on his feet and get established and get in the proper position. They ignore that. And so they go out there and they just have a baby. And then you end up with, these broken situations because arguments and fights happen over finances or the lack thereof, you know. But yeah, like when it comes to all these like real like hoteptress, type of black women with their head wrap and everything. Yes, a lot of them. I'm with the brother in the comment section. A lot of them are sexy. There's a lot of them. Hell, they're sexier. They're more sexy than they are beautiful. I know women can't really wrap their heads. Yes, there are women out here that are sexier than they are beautiful. Like who was the woman? Who was the white woman in True Lies? What was the white woman's name? I can't think of what her name is. She's a white woman who has always been sexier. I think she was there was a video of her like doing the aerobics class with John Travolta. Okay. Like I forget what the damn movie was back in like the 80s. She's a sexy white woman. She's not a beautiful white woman. And there's I'm trying to think of like a woman who's sexy. Y'all can give me a list in the comment section. Women who are sexier than they are beautiful. Like there's something about them that's weird. You know what I mean? They're not like trying to think. I'm like thinking of fucking porn stars. Like who's that French chick, that Arabelle Raphael or something like that. She does all the BJ porn videos and everything. That is not a beautiful woman. She got the body filled with tattoos, but there is something sexy about her. You know what I'm saying? And look, the sexiness, seriously speaking, sexiness with a man can get you. You don't have to be the most beautiful woman on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like sexiness, I personally think sexiness goes further than just outright raw beauty. You know what I mean? I think a lot more women out here are winning off of being sexy than they are being just ungodly beautiful. And I've heard, men that have been with ungodly beautiful women and they say that, they don't even do anything. Like they just lay there, they're entitled, they just lay there in bed like a floppy fish or a dead fish. You know what I mean? And it's not appealing. Like they don't really get down. They're like, oh, give me a freaking 7.5 to an 8 any day of the week and I'm content. They're like, them 9s and 10s are for the birds. Like them bitches are whack. I've heard multiple men say that. They're like, look, it's wonderful having them on your arm candy. They're expensive. They expect all type of bullshit. They're not fun. They have dry ass personalities. But do they up your, do they make you look good? Do they up your social status? Oh, hell yeah. You get out the car and you got this fucking stallion of a woman. I don't know why I'm saying stallion. Stallion is a male horse, but y'all get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I remember somebody was telling me about Kamara Simmons. They caught, it was like years ago, they caught Kamara Simmons on the street and they were talking about like how captivating she is. Cause Kamara Simmons is like 6 foot. So you got this 6 foot, like whatever, a Blasian woman. You know what I mean? You got this 6 foot Blasian woman. Like she's stunning. Right. Right. But in terms of like, is she going to like really be sexy like a regular woman? Like probably not. And so I just wanted to point that out about the women being sexy. A lot of these Afrocentric chicks with the natural hair and the makeup and everything, you know what I mean? It's like a non-conventional, it's just a non-conventional beauty. I'm trying to think of somebody who's like that. Like, I'd say T Noir, but people are gonna say she's light skinned. I'm trying to give me like even like nappy headed Ahoba. Nappy headed Ahoba is sexier than she is beautiful. Attractive woman, but she's sexy. The female sex. I don't even know if she's still making videos on YouTube. Definitely sexier more than she's beautiful. She will make you just be sitting there looking at her and just her whole vibe. Man, she'll make your dick stand at attention. Trying to think who else. Who else was just sexy. You know, um, it's just I'm trying to think. I know I got like women coming into my mind, you know, like even Chloe Bailey. Chloe Bailey is not a drop dead gorgeous woman, but she's sexy as hell. She's just sexy. Um, Let me think. Trying to think. I can't think. I'll try to put some. I'll put some images up of some women, you know, over the yeah, just randomly, sporadically, like I do my Stay Vigilant, gun images and whatnot. And on the gun tip, on a side note, yeah, I do feel like, you see the freaking Ruger just came out with the RXM. Gen 3 Glock clones is the way to go. It's just the way to go. Get you a P80 with the RMR cut on the top, put your Hollow Sun on there, and call it a day. All these other gun companies with their own proprietary magazines and, oh, I want an HKVP9. Oh, I want, a IWI, pistol. I want, I don't know, what other, some sort of CZ75 variant, right? The Smith and Wesson, Carry Comp, all these guns are cool, but I'm saying I just still think that you should just have a basic Glock configuration gun that takes Glock mags just because they're ubiquitous. It's just like the people who say, oh, you got to have every caliber. I have a 40 caliber pistol, and I keep it because I remember in 2013 when there was a shortage on guns, what caliber was still on the shelf? 40 cal. 40 cal and 45 ACP, but there were way more 40 cals on the shelf. So I know if something ever happens, shit hits the fan, I know I'm going to be able to get me some 40 cal on top of the fact that most law enforcement uses 40 cal. So I keep my 40 cal for that reason, So I got some contingency plans in place. But yeah, because somebody was asking me about, why so many Glocks, and I'm like, because it's so customizable. You know what I mean? Like if I show a picture of any other firearm, any other handgun, pistol, there really ain't what you see is what you get. Like there's no customizability other than maybe like the SIG P320s, but the SIG P320s are trash to me. Okay, they're freaking retrofitted P250s. And the whole reason why they had the misfiring, or when the gun drops, it's not drop safe, is because it's a retrofitted P250. And so you have a hammer fired style gun that they converted to striker fire that doesn't have the benefit of the low bore axis of the striker fire gun. Why would I want that? Yes, the chassis and all that and the convertibility, that's great. You can do a whole bunch of stuff, put it in your flux, carbine, frame and everything. That's cool. But the design of the gun to me is just nah. They should have basically what the SIG P365 is, the X Macro, that's what the SIG P320 should have been. It was a cost cutting measure, and that's why they did it. So I just I'm like, you should have came up with a new design. And then they go through all the stuff, the M17, that won the U.S. military contract because they wanted a gun that they could swap out and everything. Okay, cool. But again, all that the drop safe issues, that's an issue. That's an issue for any firearm. I don't want a gun that I could drop and then it goes off. No. But the reason that's the case is because they retrofitted it. But anyway, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That's my video, SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. And shout out to the people that have been hitting my Cash App, by the way. I do need to make that video thanking all the people. I got my list. I got to add more people to the list. But I'll make a video, giving everybody their, shout out. So that's my video, SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello?
Where
Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!